Welcome everybody to O Reacts once again with your brother Puerto Rican Omar. All right, today's video. Now I know you see on the screen our dear brother Muhammad Hijab, and this is definitely not about Muhammad Hijab. Okay, although I will, his name will be brought up, but this is definitely about Jordan Peterson, who, in my opinion, is a complete fraud. And I'm going to tell you why. And because this guy, see, this is the problem. And this is why I had to do this video. Because the problem is, he does say some things that's true, right? Things that are kind of near and dear to us Muslims, right? And because of that, because he goes against the all this woke stuff and and liberalism and a bunch of stuff that we could agree with, right? But the thing is, there's too many of us that are following this guy, that are looking at this guy like he's something special, like he's this genuine guy who's just standing up for good and whatnot. But nothing could be further from the truth. This guy, like I said, in my opinion, is a complete fraud. And I'm really trying to reach out. And this isn't just for Muslims. To be honest, this applies to just anybody who's religious, especially Christians, especially Muslims, who I'm mainly directing this to, but it's also Christians, because you're getting duped too. That's what's happening. Jordan Peterson is, as a matter of fact, let me take our brother off the screen, because we're talking about this clown right here. Okay? Jordan Peterson is making a lot of money, getting a lot of fame, a lot of attention, and he has so many of our brothers and sisters following him, supporting him, speaking good about him. And all he does is trash us. And then he tries to pretend like he's with the Christians, right? But you're getting duped too, like I just said. Because this guy, let me tell you, it's pretty clear that he's an atheist. That's why he'll never tell you, he'll never straight up, if you ask him, hey, are you a Christian? He's gonna tell you no. He's gonna waffle around and and basically let you know that he's not. Even if he don't say, no, I'm not, it's clear he's definitely not gonna say I am. Because like some of these people, he's just no different than anybody who tries to manipulate religious people, because he looks at them as they're dumb, allegedly. This is my opinions. Everything I'm saying is just how I feel, okay? So, don't try to come at me. I'm entitled to my opinion, okay? Now, everybody's being duped by this guy that's religious. He doesn't care about religion at all. And the reason I feel that he uses, he tries to act like he's siding with Christianity is because it's easier to, I'm sorry, look, I'm a former Christian, but I truly feel it's easier to dupe Christians. In my opinion, my humble opinion. from being one at one point, and just from my experiences, my encounters, just the whole nine. Okay? And just because we can agree with some things, and now I'm talking back to the Muslims, my brothers and my sisters, just because we agree with some things that he says, doesn't mean that he deserves your support. We should not be supporting this guy. He's using you. And let me tell you, he's laughing at you. And that's what pisses me off the most. He's laughing at us. He even says it in his videos when he was interviewed by Muhammad Hijab, that he's scratching his head saying, I don't really know why. I'm surprised, I'm shocked that so many Muslims follow me. Because he knows. He's against us, what we believe, I should say, in my opinion, allegedly. That's what I truly feel. Because he plays, look at the manipulation. For one, and like I said, I believe that he looks at religious people as dumb. Just like politicians do. And that's why they play the game like they belong to a religion and this and that and whatever. They'll take some photo ops, in the church or something. They don't give it. They don't care. They do not care. They don't believe in any of that. They know it's a tool. It's a manipulation tool. It's psych ops. So they go and they play this, like they're sincere and this and that, violins playing, ooh, and people fall for it. That's all it takes, unfortunately. And so I can't really blame them too much for looking at us as dumb, as easily manipulated, allegedly. He goes and he acts like he's so sincere, and it's crazy because he comes off as sincere a lot of times. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you an example right now. Check this out. Look. So this is from an interview that he had with our brother Muhammad Hijab. Okay? And look how sincere he comes across. This is like so conniving. Check this out. And this is all allegedly.
And that there are things, there's a flesh that joins these religions, and also that peace is possible. Peace is possible.
Good. Well, then let's see if we can be good enough people to actually want peace.
Let's try and see what we can do.
All right, man. We'll see you. I hope we see each other in the UK. And I'd like to say hello to all the listeners and watchers of this from the Islamic community. And let's see what we can do together, man.
Yeah, and you're invited to anything, any mosque I think in the UK will have you, because you've already got the presence there.
Look at him. He looks like he's gonna cry. And look how good and humble he is, and how good he's speaking about us.
Just name the mosque and I'll get you an invitation.
Send me.
And look how respectful and kind our brother Muhammad Hijab is being. Because here's one thing, Muhammad Hijab, let me tell you something about him if you don't know about him already. The brother's very smart, very intellectual, very articulate, but he's also pretty fierce. Like, he's definitely not a coward. This is somebody that if you're gonna talk some bull crap about the deen, about our religion, he's gonna intellectually step to you and challenge you on that. And he does get a bit emotional sometimes, which I can understand. And it's not with everybody. It's not all the time. He's usually very composed and all that. He does a great job. Amazing job. But sometimes, you know, if somebody's been really disrespectful or just saying blatant lies to a lot of people, to the masses, he's not gonna let it go. And he's going to speak his mind. This brother shoots from the hip, and, you know, and that's a figure of speech. And he, you know, he doesn't hold back. He's not afraid to do this. And he did that in this interview too. But let me play a little more here.
Me a suggestion. When I send you this invitation, send me a suggestion. I don't know if I can do it on this visit, but I'm coming back.
And keep in mind, the brother Muhammad Hijab called him out for trying to call Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He tried to call him a warlord. And the brother pointed out his hypocrisy in this, where he had to apologize.
Back in, I think, March, and I'm certainly willing to do it. Not only willing, eager, and I mean that. I mean eager. I would love to be welcomed in that manner. That would be a tremendous privilege as far as I'm concerned. So,
no, I think you will be surprised as to the amount of acceptability that you have in particular in the Muslim community.
Well, hooray for that. So let's try not to muck it up with foolish words.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good talking to you. Thanks again.
Thanks so much, man.
Did you hear that? So let's not. Well, almost looks like he's with his crocodile tears. Well, let's try. Let's see. Peace. Let's see if we could not muck it up with foolish words and this and that. And then the very next time, next thing you know, what you see, he did a video. Once again, criticizing Islam, speaking bad about Islam and this and that, trying to tell us, talk tough to the Muslims and this and that. The total opposite of what you just saw right there. Total opposite. Now I'm going to play you something else. Now look at the contrast. Look at the contrast.
And
after an olive branch being extended to him.
I see this as a threat in Islam, in the more fundamentalist forms of Islam. It's like, well, you should submit to Allah. It's like, hey, fair enough. Allah as interpreted by who? Oh, totalitarian, misogynistic mullahs.
Wow. Wow. Did you see that? Did you not see the contrast from that other video to this? And first of all, you're talking about Allah, right? First of all, Allah does not, it's not just Muslims that say Allah, that believe in Allah. Let me show you something here. Allah. Allah is the standard Arabic word for God. And it is used by Arab Christians as well. So why do you go, oh, Allah, what Allah? Whose definition? And then he brings up the misogynistic mullahs and this and that. Why? Why would you even say something like that? Why you don't use the example of your everyday Muslims? He's being slick there. He's manipulating there, allegedly, in my opinion. What he's doing there is he brings that up so that he can then criticize it, and then when you go to check him on it, he's gonna be able to say, well, I was talking about the misogynistic mullahs. This and that. That's why he said that. This is a tactic that he's using But what I believe he really means is he really believes that for all Muslims. Because the brother, matter of fact, the brother Muhammad Hijab also told him, well, if I can clarify whatever misconceptions you have about Islam, would you accept the truth? Would you accept it? And he said no. He couldn't wait till, he didn't even let him finish the sentence. He said no before he finished the sentence. Look, and this part here, you know, this is kind of just to our brother Muhammad Hijab, because I've heard him say that he feels there's a good chance that Jordan Peterson can become a Muslim one day. And you know what? Allahu Alam. I can't sit here and say who can and who can't, who won't, who will. That's not my place. That's none of our place. That is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the only one that decides that. But from what I'm seeing so far, because I truly believe it takes a genuine person. It takes sincerity to come to the truth if you wasn't raised with that. And not only if you wasn't raised with that, but in particular, if you wasn't raised with that. Because it's difficult to leave what you've always known. It's difficult to leave what your society or your culture, your race, whatever. It's difficult to break away from that to something that's unfamiliar to your culture. It's not easy. So it requires a lot of sincerity to be able to muster up the strength to do that. You know, and I don't really want to talk about myself, but let me tell you, when I knew this is the truth and I want to be a Muslim, I truly believed in my mind that I was going to be disowned by my family. Now I realized that was ridiculous. It was so far from the truth, from the reality. I was dead wrong, because that's not what happened. But I really believed that. I thought that, and I was willing to do it anyway. And some people, they're not close with their family. Some people hate their family. I love my family. We get along great. We love each other. We there for each other, all that. I love my family so much. So to believe that I was going to lose that was not easy. But I had no choice in the matter, because I recognized that this is the truth. And so I had to accept it. But so back to the sincerity thing. I don't see the sincerity in this guy. He come across in one video as very genuine. When I saw that at first, I was like, wow. I felt like how the brother Muhammad Hijab said. Wow, there's a real good chance. It looks like this guy is honest enough that if he sees this the truth, he'll accept it. And then he flushed all that down the toilet. And as you can see right there, look, matter of fact, let's play some more.
How about no? I don't buy your Ella. Okay, so let's not make it, okay, so let's agree that you shouldn't subordinate yourself arbitrarily to a rigid structure. Now,
why? Why would we agree to something stupidity like that? Some stupidity like that? Why? Why would we do that? Why? It makes all the sense in the world to do that. You know who says that? It's somebody who doesn't believe in God. That's who says that. Allegedly. Because if you don't believe in God, then of course it's ridiculous to you to submit to anything. Because you in your mind, you're your own God. So you're not going to submit to anything at all. No wonder you're so depressed. No wonder why you're never going to be content. Allegedly.
You might want to do that sporadically to discipline yourself. Right? But the object shouldn't be submission. Now,
why wouldn't the object be submission? If there's a God, which I know there is, the creator of the universe, who's created everything, who keeps everything going, the sustainer, the cherisher, the all-merciful, the most merciful, I should say. If there's this creator that's that powerful, just look at the stars, look at the sky, look at these things, the planets, the cosmos. So there's one source that created this. If there's that source, how can you not submit to that source? Especially when he's telling you to submit, because it doesn't benefit him. It doesn't make him stronger. It doesn't help him in any way. He doesn't need us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need us. We need him. So it makes all the sense in the world to submit, especially if you only knew the peace that you attained by doing this. And it frees you. You become free. Because you can look at what he says and you have a clear guidance. So some people say, oh, there's so many rules. They try to tell you how to do this and how to do that. Well, guess what? If it was just Joe Schmo trying to tell me how to do every single little thing, then you know what? I might agree with you. I agree with you. But when you're talking about the creator of everything in the universe, come on. It's a no-brainer. You have to give him the respect. We're going to be judged by him. Our fates are in his hands. So who are you to think that you're so high and mighty that you can't submit to the all-powerful? You have zero understanding of God. And it's because you don't want to believe in God. You're an atheist, allegedly, in my opinion. That's the real problem. And that's why religious people, not just Muslims, you should stop supporting this guy. Because he's using you. He's using you. He's looking at you. He's looking at us like he's using us. He's looking at us like we're idiots. And he's making money. He's capitalizing on this. Allegedly. In my opinion. That's what he does. And he's gotten rich off of us. So why do we keep supporting him? How many insults, how many lies must he spew to us, especially the Muslims? How much more does he have to disrespect you, allegedly, in my opinion, for you to stop supporting this guy? What we doing? We need to check ourselves. We need to look and be like, come on, man. We done heard it all. Okay, look, if you've been supporting him, you already heard it all. At this point, it's just him insulting Islam, allegedly, in my opinion. He's not trying to find God. He's already made up his mind that there is no God, allegedly, in my opinion. So we need to be smart. Because you know what? If he's looking at us like that, and you want to continue to support him while he bashes you, then you're being an idiot too. Then you are living up to his perception, allegedly, in my opinion. We can't do this. We got to be wise. We got to be smart. He's already heard it all. He's heard it all already. Dawah's been given to him multiple times. What more are you going to say to him? He doesn't want it. He's telling you. He's telling you.
Now, what's weird in the biblical narrative, is that the goal is not submission. It's so weird. It's covenantal relationship. And covenantal relationship is actually relationship. So one of the things you see with Moses, for example, and you also see this with Abraham, is that they're constantly negotiating with God. That's why the name of my next book, by the way, is We Who Wrestle with God.
Okay. They're constantly negotiating with the Almighty. You hear this guy? Wow. Subhanallah. and look, he exposes, and look, pay attention. What does he follow that with? He's catering, he's pandering once again. To who? To the Christians. Right? Look what he says. And the name of my next book, by the way, is We Who Wrestle with God. Another book, some more money. So he's already done a book trashing Islam, talking nonsense that he has no clue about, no knowledge, no nothing. But he says he thinks you have to speak, you have to know what you're talking about, and all these things. And then he constantly bashes Islam, allegedly, in my opinion. He constantly bashes it with no knowledge, zero knowledge. And that's why I love, in that interview, Brother Muhammad Hijab checked him on that. He didn't let it go. Even though he was respectful and nice and all that, he says, he couldn't let that go. That had to be addressed. So props to him. MashaAllah. And he got him to apologize. MashaAllah. That's not easy for somebody who sees themselves as their own God, allegedly, in my opinion. Matter of fact, I don't even want to hear. And here's the thing. He also has his daughter, Mikhaila Peterson, who has not even an ounce of the talent or smarts, in my opinion, allegedly. That's how I feel. I've tried to watch. I try to watch what she has to say, but she's a fraud too, allegedly, in my opinion. Just as much as him, except less talented, less charismatic. She's not charismatic at all, not even a little bit. And she's also just as disingenuous, if not more. I don't know which one is more disingenuous, allegedly, in my opinion. Let me tell you about her. She goes and she sets up this debate, right? She sets up this debate right here. Well, she sets up a debate with, who was it? With Oh, this lady. Where is it? Let's see. Right here. So this is what she does. This is right after that interview with the brother Muhammad Hijab, right? And Jordan Peterson, right? So she goes and she sets up. I guess she used her connections. Okay, the brother Muhammad Hijab is in good with Jordan Peterson. So what she does is she sets up. Uh, how do I put it? She sets up an ambush, and unfortunately, this might be the only smart thing that I've seen her do. Right? I think she knew enough about the brother to know that even though he's very intellectual, very intelligent, and all these things, the one thing he probably needs to work on, inshallah, and trust me, I'm not trying to criticize that brother. Because, he's probably 100 times better than I'll ever be. So this is just me being honest, okay? I think she knew enough. If you follow him enough, you'll know that when it comes to, like I said before, people disrespecting, like being very disrespectful to Islam, Prophet Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, he has a hard time because he has so much heart. This guy's a lion. And he has so much heart that it's hard for him to just let that go. Like he has to push back on that. He has to challenge you if he has the opportunity, if you're there and you've been doing that. And so this piece of dirt, in my opinion, allegedly, it's just my opinion, Ion Hearsey, right? She's like, she's, for the Muslims, she's Abu Jahl. She's a modern day Abu Jahl. She's like the Pharaoh. She is, all she does, she's made a living off of trashing Islam, allegedly, in my opinion. And she says lie after lie, in my opinion, allegedly. And it's funny because even when she's not lying, right, she'll bring up this and that and how it was in Somalia and this and all these horrible things and this and that. None of which, all the things she complains about, none of them have anything to do with Islam. It's cultural things. It's things from a society that has issues. They have governmental issues and stuff like that. So it's not that stable over there. So she wants to use these examples that have nothing to do with Islam. But what it is, it's catering to people's emotions. Because when you bring these things up to people that don't know anything about it, and this is all allegedly, in my opinion. But when you bring up these things, even though they have nothing to do with Islam, people that don't know nothing about Islam, they just gobble it up and believe it and accept it. And they take it as fact. Oh, well, look, she was a Muslim. She grew up she's a Muslim and from a Muslim society, so she knows. She doesn't know anything about Islam, allegedly, in my opinion. All you got to do is hear what she has to say. And she is so insulting. She's disrespected Islam and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She's done this over and time again in horrible ways, allegedly, in my opinion. So to set up a debate with and bring in Muhammad Hijab to debate her, you already know the sparks are gonna fly. They're gonna fly. And that's why I believe it was an ambush. And unfortunately, you know, the brother, you know, he couldn't help it. You know, he went at her. And the way, you know, I don't know if it was edited that way or what it was, but it kind of came across as like, you know, like maybe he's over talking and this and that. And it could have been an editing thing. I don't know. But it was a hit job, allegedly, in my opinion. A pure smear campaign. But she set him up, and I wish the brother saw it coming. But I think he was so happy to finally I get to debate her. I get to, with her right there. I think he was just so happy about that maybe, perhaps, he didn't really see that ambush coming. And maybe underestimated of how riled up she was going to get him. And I say this all respectfully. You know, that brother's very intelligent. He's very educated in the deen and philosophy and all these things. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know about the deen. But wow, it was a setup, in my opinion, allegedly. Then she goes on to use that. No, to go off of that, she then goes and does a podcast with this clown. With that clown, who's called a apostate prophet, who's a complete, utter clown, allegedly, in my opinion. Who's also incredibly insulting. Incredibly insulting. If you only heard the things this man has said, he makes a living off of disrespecting Muslims and Islam, allegedly, in my opinion. So she goes on his podcast, and it's clear, like, this is all he does is trash Islam. So this is not an honest thing to do. If you're trying to get at truth, you don't go to, if you want to know about Americans, and you want to get down to the truth about Americans, you don't go to the people that hate Americans the most, do you? To get an honest perspective, do you? No, because that would be ridiculous. It's completely disingenuous. It's just an opportunity to smear some more. It's to drive the knife in and then twist it. Allegedly, in my opinion. And so this guy had a field day. Like, he was so happy. Matter of fact, let me get these people off the screen, because I don't even want to see their face. Because I don't have no respect for them. None whatsoever. But basically they all this, and then she's gone, and then he goes this fraud, allegedly, in my opinion, apostate prophet. He goes and he has a field day. He edited it and he went, look what Mikhaila Peterson, how frightened she is about Islam. Like she said that. She said that it scares me. Scares me. And then they pull up these little clips, snippets of Brother Ali Dawa and others or whatever, saying things that if you just catching a snippet, it's gonna sound like might scare you. Where it sounds scary to somebody who doesn't know anything about Islam. And it's all out of context. No context in it. Just these little sound bites. Just to demonize it more and more. Excuse me, I'm fasting, so my throat's a little dry. Okay? But this is the game that's being played here. So, brothers and sisters, I plead with you. Please, don't let these people make fools out of you. Stop supporting them. If you subscribe to their channel, then you're supporting. They're making money off of you while trashing you, while spreading lies about you, and all that is allegedly, in my opinion. It's all allegedly. This is all my opinion. Okay? Please, brothers and sisters, and I'll even extend that to the Christians, stop falling for it. But especially my brothers and sisters, stop supporting them. Leave. Walk away. Don't waste any more time making these people rich. Because they keep just smacking you in the head. It's like they're taking your money and they smack you in the head. Allegedly. And this is, in my opinion. And that's obviously a figure of speech. Okay? Not literally, a figure of speech. Okay? So, I'm going to leave it there. But my brothers and sisters, you should be outraged at the smear campaign and the attacks coming from these people, allegedly, in my opinion. Till the next one, inshallah.